Let's get to the bottom of this one. Unspoken truths that I miss one. Tap into the minds of the people, rather acknowledge before I dismiss one. Atheists, Muslim, Christians, Buddhists, they all got usage. All got perspective, it's a collective. Get to the bottom what the truth is. With our hearts uncovered. Where detox from all of the lies you smothered. What them tries could have killed you, but with faith you recover. Yup. Peel off the makeup, we finna take off. Never said it'd be a cakewalk. Meditate till we charged up. Execute goes regardless. Decalcify my pineal. Breaking language barriers, we saw millennials. Planets passing age rotations, down me we owe. So down me we know. Sometimes we can be slow, that's why my ears open. Every drop you add could complete the ocean. Speak up, play your part too. Been vulnerable, it's so hard to.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kimberly with Honesty and Twisted Truth, the People Podcast, and I got my Henry back.
Oh my gosh.
And then I got, we're just going to go right across the row, and then I got Allison.
It's good to meet you guys. Good to be here.
Allison is part of our Twisted Love Entertainment team, and then we got Gilly.
Hello.
And that's just our Gilly. And then we got Christy.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Christy, everybody.
Peace and love, everyone. Peace and love. And then we might have some people coming on in a minute.
Whoop.
So, and then we got the Bubble DDH until 9:20, and then we'll have him in a person. But anyway, so tonight's subject's going to be about how madness to music. What does that mean, Allison?
Well, it just kind of goes back to the fact that you could be in so many different states of mind, and it can all be madness, whether it's mad in love, mad in anger, mad under, religious conviction, or just mad for attention. Madness to music. It can lead to a lot. Music, it calms the beast inside of us. It helps us come together as people and sort of either celebrate or mourn the same things. And one of the coolest things about it is that the same song can mean so many different things to so many different people.
Exactly, yeah.
So I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. So do you have a personal experience or personal reference, or how do you want to run this?
Well, I've got a lot. Since I've started music back in 2020, most of what I do is really reflective of my life. And I've used my own background in relying on music to help me get through things, to project me as an artist myself. So, I even think back to days when I was uplifted through music in the church, or, singing in choirs at school and stuff like that, or just listening to the amazing composition of bands like Queen, and, just the complexity and stuff and the emotions that it gave me. And it allowed me as an artist to kind of project that into what I do, and to take very personal moments and find a catharsis to things I've gone through, personal crisis. Like one is a car accident that I went through. Something that one was a domestic violence situation that I had to go through. And I wrote about that, and I gave it away to the world and shared it with a lot of people. And then most recently, one of my newest projects is about a very dear person, very, very, very like diamond of a human. I mean, an absolute miracle of a human being. And I lost him all of a sudden to a heart attack, very young, very prematurely. And when I'm trying to mourn his death, I get bullied. I get bullied by members of his family, and I was shut out, and I wasn't able to grieve. I wasn't allowed to go to the funeral and, show my honor and my respect. And so I'm turning to music to let that emotion out in a constructive way. I don't get up on stage. I don't use bad language. First of all, that's huge for me. I'm affiliated with the YMCA. And so I always have to live by their mission statement of building stronger families and stronger communities. So I really do live by that. So it's not about getting up there and bashing somebody. It's just about getting up there and exposing myself in a way that heals me internally. But hopefully somebody else is going to know what I'm talking about. And they might be able to connect with that too. And I might help them to be able to cross a threshold.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess we could go into this. Let's cut. What kind of questions would you have? Because I could sit here and interview you, asking you when you got into music and stuff. But I think we can do that by proxy. So what would you have to ask everybody about?
Sure, I just wonder, what, like, when you're in your moments, what is it that you go to? I mean, is it stuff that you go to from your past that helps? Or is it something maybe, some kind of new age thing that's not been around before? Is there anything new that kind of connects to you now? Or is it older music?
I'll let you start.
Oh, great. Now you put me right on the spot. Okay, so I love your take on music. I think the beautiful thing about music is that it's our language we invented as humans, and it's pretty darn special to us, and it can express things that we almost just can't. Just notes, anything on an instrument can express so much. It's how you do it, and I love all types of music. I even champion a lot of new music. I hate saying the stereotypical thing where if you open up my playlist, it's a little bit of everything, but my playlist is a little bit of everything. And I find a lot of great joy in just playing music a lot of the time to do that. And that can bounce between any kind of genre I really like. Sometimes maybe I'm doing pop songs or something if I want to just mess with it. So it's everything. I love all of it. I don't gatekeep art heavily.
And I can appreciate that 100%.
So what I've learned was that I've been dealing with this a lot lately, personally and outside of my personal life. To be able to stop something from being a trigger, we have to be able to control it within it. So I allowed music to take me to that spot, and I felt so uncomfortable. Like I left somebody that I was an enabler to, that I loved more than I loved myself, that didn't even love themselves. So I tried to do it for both of us. And it was the most difficult thing I ever had to do, but I had to allow myself to be triggered. I had to allow myself to feel those emotions, be able to handle those emotions, and I apologize, and control those emotions. I had to be able to sit within them and not let them have the upper hand. So I used a lot of music that really made me, that was like 4-minute long to 7-minute long, that really made me sit and hear the sounds, like Hillsong Worship, Amazing Grace. That on repeat did it for me.
Mm-hmm.
It really helped me. I used it for almost a good 2 years. That was my go-to song, that just when I would take a bath and I was feeling myself missing him and wanting to see how he's doing and stuff, knowing that it's not healthy, knowing that it was not good for me, that I had to allow myself to sit in that and feel the emotions, to be acknowledged of the emotions and not let the emotions win.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. And allow yourself to be able to feel those things and respond to those things.
Yeah, and give myself grace and realize that, 9 years is a long time to heal, and you can't do it in a week. So I had to give myself grace lots of times, because I was like, you're better than us. Why are you doing this? Why are you still doing this? And I had to realize I had to be able to receive it properly, without emotion, without heart, without feeling like it was my fault and I did something wrong. That's the hardest part.
Yeah, that 100%. That 100%.
But yeah, that song, and I'm not big on like Christian music and stuff like that, but for some reason the length of the song, how they were in depth with the song, the changing back and forth, and then when I watched the live one, and the live ones would help me, because she cried when she sang it, and the whole crowd was singing with her, and I just felt my pain through hers, and I was able to heal that way, and that helped me out a lot. Gilly? Gilly?
We lost Christy. Hopefully she comes back.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes,
There
we
we go.
can.
I forgot I
There
turned
she
my
is.
mic off so there wouldn't be background noise.
Okay. So now your turn.
So I've always loved music. I've always loved to sing. That was one of the bonds that I had with my dad was music, but really I think I connected to all my family members through music, and so I was influenced by like very distinct genres, and it made me pretty eclectic. And when you have children or babies, we often sing to them because it's soothing. They don't even have to be upset. It's just a soothing form of communication, and I'm convinced that music is as old, if not older, than language. And so there is sort of this generational ancestral tradition that we all have. And it's cool how we can connect to others too that are maybe unlike ours. I know that when I was going through a really hard time as a teenager, um it was a breakup and I wasn't taking it well, but I went and joined a church and they let me sing, and it was just I couldn't wait to get to practice. I couldn't wait to get there. I couldn't, I didn't care that it was church. I loved it. And when my father died, I got his iPod and I would listen to all his favorite music on repeat. And I did that for months, listening to all his, and my dad had great taste in music. And that was really soothing for me. Every kid I have, I've dedicated a song to, and there was always a song that I would sing in particular for each one when they were upset. Um, and so, and interestingly enough, there have been times that I've been so depressed that I don't sing. And that's actually a kind of marker for me of, oh boy, this is bad. So, there hasn't been too many instances, but yeah, when it happens, it's it's a marker for me that there's too much going on in my head. And I think that's the thing that I love about music, is that if you connect to a song, it can really get you out of your head. And if you're somebody who struggles with maybe intrusive thoughts or obsessive thoughts at times, particularly when you're under stress, or if you're just somebody whose mind is very active all the time, music is a beautiful way to get back into your body.
That was good stuff, Gilly.
I agree. I agree completely. So what's your next thing, Allison?
Well, I was just thinking about, what I've just been hearing about how even, just if you have a very active mind, having the music on in the background can just sort of keep that other part occupied. Because I'm a busy person, and I've got a lot of ADHD kind of issues, non-medicated, non-diagnosed, but we'll just call it what it is. And I always say that being ADHD is like having three brains, and they're all thinking independently. And if I've got some music in the background, then at least it gives that one brain something to latch on to, and it helps me to focus in other ways. So even if it's just the radio at work, I find myself going down the hallway, running X-rays, singing whatever's playing, and they know that if they don't hear any noise coming from me, there's a problem. There's definitely a problem. It grounds me.
So how did you deal with not being able to mourn?
I took it very hard at first, very hard, and to be honest, because I do see a therapist over some things that I've had to deal with, so I see a therapist on a weekly basis. And I was calling hotlines. I mean, it was bad. It was very bad. Because for someone to bully you to the point where you don't want to be around anymore, that's harsh. That's very harsh to be treated in that way. And I'm talking, these people have known me for 30 plus years. I was destroyed, not only losing my friend, but I felt like some very solid friends, who I would have taken a bullet for these people, and to have them just mutiny like that. And that it was very difficult. And what I did is I played most of the music that my friend that passed away, I played music that he liked. And I spoke to him while his music played. And I mourned him by myself. And it impacted me. It was negative, but I knew through listening, even some of the words of songs I'd never heard before, stuff that I wasn't even really familiar with. I would hear words and it's almost like I could hear him saying it. Like I could hear him tell me. And that helped. And, I had to come to the conclusion that even though he was young and it was very sudden, and it was, to every one of us that lost him, whether they love me or they hate me, either way, it hurt us all. It hurt us all very bad. But, I had to understand that sometimes only the most beautiful flowers are picked for the bouquet. And he was a beautiful flower. That's all I can say. He was a miracle.
I can relate to a similar situation. When I lost the passing of my biological mom, I never mourned her. To this day, I haven't mourned her, but I don't need to for me because she passed. She was gone before she was gone in my eyes because of the relationship we had.
Yeah.
I was taking that privilege from me to be able to say, I forgive you, though. They didn't allow me to have that because they pulled the plug without me being able to be there, even though I was supposed to be. I was her medical power attorney, everything. It should have been my right to say something. But they overrode me, and it was my sister, like the same mom, same dad's sister, and my aunt took that right from me to be able to say, hey, I forgive you. And I was the only one that really cared. I looked just like her. I was always going back to her. Everybody else wrote her off. And I was always going out of my way to make sure that she was still in my life, even when she didn't want to be. And they took that from me to be able to say, hey, I forgive you. And the only way that I'm able to be okay with all that is to realize that too. When I told her that I was done with her, I meant that. And I was okay with that because I mourned her then. And then the second thing is that they have to reap that, not me. I will not allow them to live rent-free in that space of me feeling like they took something from me, because they didn't take nothing from me. They're going to have to reap that karma, not I. And I know this every day. And every day I look in the mirror, I see her. And every day I do something kind, I see her big heart. So I will mourn her my own way with love and remembrance. And anything else they have to deal with, that's on them because they did that. I will never come at it mad and malice. Can you relate to that feeling of not being able to mourn somebody?
Yeah, my mother.
How'd that help you or hurt you?
My mother taught me how to play guitar, and it was one of the few things I consider she actually did good during our time together on this earth, our short time. And it was really hard. For instance, I can't really write a song about her exactly. I talk about her by proxy in songs and whatnot. But there's a short little bursts of mourning periods for her, but it was interspersed over just kind of letting it go. And it's weird. I didn't do your typical grieving situation on that. And part of grieving for my mother, I spent in active alcoholism, and then the rest of it I spent sober. So it was really two different things. And yes, of course, music got me through both of those things.
Yeah.
And I wrote a bunch of songs about it, and not that I'm hyping or anything, but no, I did. That's how I got through it, was writing about how I felt. Because, you know, our subconsciouses are powerful. And I think it's an easier way to delve into your subconscious is writing music or letting it speak through music and not just try to force words through the aperture. So yeah, it was hard grieving for my mother, and then it was harder just learning to not care.
Yeah, that too.
You know, she loved me, parts of me, and just a hard situation. It was a hard situation. It was hard to love her, hard to miss her.
Gilly, can you relate to the not being able to mourn someone?
I can relate to all of it. I think when my dad died, the first he died overseas, and long story shorter, his body had to be shipped back, and it was in metal. So, and there had to be investigation. It was not your typical, hey, dad died.
No.
So it was a shock. And my dad and we had a tumultuous relationship, but I loved him very much. And I know he loved me. And even if he didn't, I wouldn't want to know the answer to that. And so it was really hard, especially because the time before that I had seen him, we had gotten into a huge screaming match, and I regret not being more vulnerable with him then, because I had a sense that I wasn't going to see him again. And I don't know what that was. It was probably just going off of the fact that our fight was so terrible. But I mean, my father and I had fought many times. So anyway, when he died, there were 2 weeks before there could be a funeral. And I had 2 fairly young kids at the time and single mom. And, you know, I couldn't break down all the time. Of course, they can see me grieving, you know, and sad, they can, to an appropriate level, but you kind of have to shut it down. And I had people telling me, people who are supposed to be supportive, like, instead of, hey, maybe come over and watch the kids, no, instead they're like, you know, you got to watch how much you cry in front of them. Like, thanks for the tips, you know. And when I went up to his funeral, I made the decision not to take my bigs, because I had never left them before, but I was knowing that I needed to grieve and just wanting that time. And I also just didn't think that funerals were age appropriate, and everybody has their opinions on that. That's okay. But for me, I felt like it wasn't. And so when I got there, I was mute. I didn't want to talk to anybody about it. I wanted to grieve, and I just sort of intuitively knew I wanted to cry. I wanted to scream. I wanted to talk to nobody but my father, who maybe couldn't hear me, didn't really care. And I remember everybody just, Skilly okay? Should we check her in somewhere? Like, they wouldn't just leave me the fuck alone and realize, no, I'm not okay. My dad just died. It was a really complicated relationship. And, you know, no, I'm not okay. And so, and then with everything that's happened, when I left my divorce, I lost my family. I lost neighbors that I had been friends with for decades. I lost good friends or people who were parents of my kids' good friends. You know, I went from being 1 week the mother who's watching all the kids in the neighborhood to the next week, you know, suddenly nobody would call and nobody would talk. And that's a different form of grief, I think. It's a grief where you have to mourn a relationship without any real explanation or closure, or with it maybe being unjust or at a time when you needed them most. Particularly people who you both had been there for each other for years. And I certainly didn't get any support in grieving them, and nor did I have a lot of time. Again, I was a single mom now of 4, with a very vindictive and angry soon-to-be ex-husband, and who liked to cause chaos often. And so along with the grief, I was having to process this level of stress. I had never been given access to the bank accounts. So I had to also process this level of stress and all these new skills and keep it together for kids. And it wasn't that I didn't give myself permission to grieve. It was that you had to move forward. You had to move on. The kids had to be okay. They had to see me being okay. And then, I went through a grieving process when my bigs got old enough to leave the house, and we're going through rough times at the time. And I don't know if I've ever gotten over that grief. You raise them to be independent and to be able to live on their own. But that doesn't mean that you don't miss them and you don't get confused about how the relationship needs to change, because you want to respect their boundaries as a adult now, and making their own decisions. And and then with the parental alienation thing, and then just some decisions that, had I had some foresight, I would have done differently. You don't get a lot of sympathy for that, especially as a mother. You get a lot of judgment. You get a lot of, this is what I would have done. You get a lot of shame. You get ostracized. And then you get treated like a mental patient. And
did music help you throughout all that?
Sure. Music
How?
has helped me throughout all of it. Well, for one, I played a lot of music for and with my kids, and we would do dances and move our bodies and just bring playfulness and hope. And when we had our songs that we'd sing when we were sad, for like my littles took it particularly hard when my bigs moved out, because they were very close to them, and we had our particular songs for each one, and we'd record it and send them. And and it helped. This last year has been particularly hard, for several reasons that I don't think I'm ever going to have the answers to. But during that, I got my first guitar, and I got a tuner, and I've even written a song. And I don't practice a lot because I'm somebody who needs medication to practice. If I'm to be fully honest, and because when I'm not good at something, it takes me a while. But
so I want to ask.
Yeah,
I apologize. I want to ask Allison something really quick. I want to know, since you use music as your healing tool in your gateway, how does it feel when people belittle your music or mock your music or talk down to your music?
Yeah, well, I like to say that going public with it, whether you're on social media or YouTube or any of those platforms, it's like being drugged by a team of horses, pretty much. You are going to literally get just raped with comments, negative comments. They're going to tear apart how you look. I've been torn apart over my age, before they even listen to my music. And, but I guess I'm kind of like a duck in that respect, and it rolls right off my back. After the car accident that I had, I suffered tremendous facial trauma. Tremendous. I mean, to the point it took 11 plates and 77 screws to rebuild my face. I literally broke every bone on my face from the chin to the forehead. So I can kind of handle discrimination at this point, and I can kind of handle negative comments. I've had them since my rec was in '01. And I mean, when I woke up, I looked like Sloth from the Goonies. I'm telling you, I was a whole different human. So, if they don't like my music and people want to talk about me, it doesn't really bother me because, for one, they're leaving other people alone who might not be able to handle it. The suicide rates are outrageous right now, and people are very tender. Their hearts are very tender, and they break very easily. And, I'm a real sticks and stones kind of girl. That, you know what I mean? Keyboard warriors don't really affect me as far as that goes. And I know when I'm out in public and I'm doing shows, and when I came forward with the domestic violence, which is very embarrassing. Here I am. I'm an independent woman. I'm a dental hygienist. I graduated college. I'm a fitness instructor for the Y. I started doing music, and I literally had somebody beat me. I mean, beat me down. And that's embarrassing to know that you think you're so big and bad and you're so tough, but you're so little in this tiny little universe. And it was a hard thing to come forward. But when I did this song publicly, and I had the first person come to me and say, "Hey, listen, I went through that too. It makes it all worth it." Just that one person that feels what you're going through and says, "Hey, listen, that song that you sang, that made me mad. That I felt that made me mad." And I say, "That's what it's all about." It was like bringing that power and coming together. It was beautiful.
I listened to a few of your songs, and I really like how catchy it is. I like how you try to uplift everyone's energy in when you sing, and it's joyful. I don't care what anybody thinks. I enjoyed it. I mean, when my husband let me hear it, he was like, she's a great person. And he tried telling me about you, and I was like, just let me hear the music, please. And then when I heard it, I was like, I really like it. I really like it a lot. Like, you don't even have to tell me how great of a person she is. You can feel your energy through your music that you really care. And it was very compassioning, very uplifting. I heard the song that you guys did for your abbreviations for whatever that group that you're in.
GMGFC.
Yes.
Money Get Fresh Crew.
I was bopping the whole time. I'm like, oh yeah, get it. I mean, the whole time, because I felt the energy from it. So,
and I got to give so many thanks to your husband. I've known him for, I guess, maybe a couple of years through music. That's how I met him. And he has just been genuine and kind and really supportive, because what I do is different. I don't know drugs. I was on the chess club. I was an academic team kid. I don't know. I don't know a lot about the other side of rap, I guess. And I don't want anybody to feel like they're sitting chair side at my lady doctor appointment, if you know what I'm saying. I gotta elevate it. And I have children that listen to me, kids. I taught kids hip hop at the YMCA. I've got little kids that are following me. I've got kids in my dental office that are my patients that think I'm the coolest, and I can't let them down. I just can't. And the YMCA that's given me 22 years of membership, and I've worked for them. I've been employed for 15 years. That's a lot of faith. I love them with all my heart. And that's a big project. That's another thing through music I can do is help uplift people. One of my newest projects is a song called Why Not? Capital YNOT. And I rewrote the track for the YMCA as a gift to my facility that I love so much.
I used to love being at the YMCA.
Oh, it's a blessing. That place is rad. And this ties into the whole music thing too, because when I was most broken coming out of my car accident in 2001, the first people that gave me a chance, the YMCA. Where did I go? I went to an aerobics class. Oh my God, I was like a drunken horse. I didn't know what I was doing. I have no fitness, no sports, no nothing. It was awful, but it was so much fun. And the music was loud and it was cranking. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. And I kept going. I kept going and I kept going. And here I am 22 years in, more dedicated than ever. And every time I was broken, whether it was my accident, they told me I'd be in a wheelchair, told me I was never going to walk. I'd never go to school. I'd never hold a job. Oh, okay. And, my divorce, a 20-year relationship crushed me when I lost my ex-husband, and he's married to somebody else. I've had to deal with that, domestic violence situation, losing my friend. Every time I fell apart, it was at YMCA and those dance classes that held me back together. They always put me back together. And it does something magic when you're in a class and you're dancing like choreography to this music. It links these two halves of your brain that aren't used to working together because you're using your mind to listen to the music and you're mimicking your body with it. And it unlocks a whole world that you didn't even know was there.
That's so true. That's so true. So, what would be your message that you want to tell someone that wants to quit music, that feel like they're being bullied and that no one's appreciating their music?
Don't quit. Do it for you. Don't do it because of them. Do it for you. Let that be your release. And even if nobody ever listens to it, put that out on YouTube because you know why? Once you do that, you're a legend and you're going to live forever. I mean, your words are out there. Preach it to the people. If you've got something good to say, if you've got something that's going to make the world a better place, you're doing the world an injustice by not putting it out there. There's talent everywhere you go. I mean, and to say, am I a good rapper? I don't know. I give it everything I got and I give it all the energy I have and I try to be as true as I can. Do I have more to learn? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Lots, 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 lots. But I mean, we can all say that no matter what we do. Do I have more to learn in fitness? Absolutely. Do I have more I can learn in hygiene? Absolutely. We always have the chance to be better, but don't quit. Don't ever quit. I mean, dreams are, God, that's all we got. That is all we have. And time. Those are the two most valuable things you can have on this planet: time and this passion to go out there and do something that makes you happy.
Music.
Something.
It's for a long time it wasn't quite music. My parents played Bach and Handel and Chopin and stuff into my mom's belly.
Yeah.
When my brother was in there, and when we were born, I remember my parents singing a lot on stage. One of my earliest memories was them singing the Mikado, which is a Japanese opera.
That's so cool.
They met in the opera. They met in the theater. So, I always had music in my whole life. And my dad's dad, my grandpa, he actually studied judo abroad in Japan, and he came back here and he taught judo at our local YMCA in Port Huron for like 40 years after he came back. And some of the best memories I had were in class with my grandfather, and my dad and my uncles and stuff. And the ADHD stopped. It does when you wire those two parts of your brain together that you don't often use, and then it really clicks, and you don't want to just go jump in the pool or run around and explore. You're actually into the activity you're doing.
Yeah,
that's damn.
It's so focused.
It's damn good for everybody. Yes, so it's nice hearing that. I haven't done a YMCA since our class folded up, but thought about it. I've thought about it. So I love that. So do you do a lot of music stuff at the YMCA, or is it all fitness, or do you combine the two?
Yeah. Well, gosh, I've been there for so long. The most I've ever taught was up to 18 classes a week, as many as 5 a day. I've been a lifeguard. I've worked the front desk. They're unlicensed public advocate. I'm their biggest cheerleader. If we do public events, set up tables, or do fitness demos, usually I'm the girl they call because I'm absolutely shameless and loud. So if I'm on the street dancing, you will stop, you will listen, and you will know that I represent the YMCA. And the love just pours right out. I mean, if there's anything I can give to the world, that's it. It's love.
You got a personality. You got to have some outlet to get it out there. I pretend.
Yeah.
There's just more question I keep wanting asking you. Do you think the accident really, really put you on the best place, the plane of existence in life? I know it was a huge setback. I had it myself, but so you consider that not a loss, but
not at all. I've gained so much. I got my chance to go to the YMCA through that. I got my chance to go back to college through my links with vocational rehabilitation, where I graduated cum laude. The first people that believed in me, right there. Everything came from that wreck. Them telling me that I couldn't. And I did. I mean, I was in a coma. I've still got a trach scar. I broke my lower back, my left hip, my right collarbone, and every single bone in my face. I punctured my left eye, and I broke the brain-body barrier. So I was leaking cerebrospinal fluid out. They say that is typically fatal. And here I am.
You're a joy to me. Seriously,
I appreciate that so much.
Not just you as a person, just hearing your music makes I'm serious. Like, I feel like I want to get wound up over it right now. Just hearing your music, I feel the joy in it. So like, I can imagine what you'd be like in person.
I don't ever want anyone to suffer because they know me. And that hurts me. Like the whole bullying thing, that hurt me. And they don't realize it, because I might get up on stage with a microphone and act like I got this swag and I got my chain hanging and I might be wearing Gucci or Versace or whatever. But I'm human. And I'm just a girl. And I'm just as tender as the next person. And when you cut me, I bleed.
How does that feel when people don't see your femininity through your masculinity exterior, because you act so tough and so like, I got it this and I'm okay? How's that feel being a woman that they don't see that?
At this point it doesn't bother me as much because I've got, with some of the things I've had to tolerate, my walls are sky high right now. And I always say that if you want to approach me and to be in my life at all, be my friend. Because right now that's the truest love that I can give to somebody, and I can give that freely. When it comes to that secondary type levels, that takes trust and that takes time. You know what I mean? It was hard. I mean, I'm still seeing a therapist. It's called trauma counseling, and it's because of the DV case. It was very hard to go through that, and the fact I still live in the same house where it occurred is difficult.
Henry told me something, I want to say today or yesterday, one or the other. He said the most trauma that he's seen people, what was it? The most trauma you've seen from someone was someone suffering from PTSD from the war, and then someone from...
I offer peer support to just about anybody who wants to talk to me. I really, really did a lot talking with a lot of friends who served overseas in combat theater. And I've seen the two worst cases of people to, not worst to deal with, but hardest to talk to and deal with and work with were overseas PTSD from warfare and childhood trauma. Those two things, they present a lot of similarities because they end up feeling the same to a lot of the person that's in them. There's no escape. You have to cover and duck, and it was hard. I love talking to vets. And
they deserve so much respect for what they did for us. I am far too cowardly to ever put my life on the line like what they did. And I respect them so much.
It causes so much trauma. And one of the biggest things that helps them is, you're not going to believe it, but music. Music helps a lot.
It makes sense. It's like an ointment for really, for your life.
that's why we immediately went to grief. It didn't say anything about grief. I was looking back in the actual description we put down, but everybody, all four of us went to grief immediately because it's such a healer for grief. So you, me, Gilly, I think that's it. I want to guess I'll ask everyone just real quick. We'll start reversed.
Real quick,
Gilly,
it also helps with Alzheimer's and dementia.
Yeah,
It definitely
that
does.
helps.
It does. Yes, it does.
I wanted to say, what's the best thing that music has brought you? And I'll just start with Gilly so we can go in reverse.
Oh boy, you're gonna start with me first.
Yes.
So I've always found music to be how I connect spiritually. It doesn't have to be from any denomination. It can be a fully secular song, but there are certain songs that have had real spiritual significance to me that I can listen to over and over and just sort of be in a realm with the song myself and whatever entity is around me. And whether imagined or not, that energy feels real. And I know, so one of the greatest connections I've ever had is somebody who has introduced me to more types of music than I ever cared to know. But now I do, and I'm happy for it because they're just real good at picking a song. And actually I've had a few friendships too where one of the most special things that I was ever given from them were songs. That's one of the ways that they communicated, and so that meant a lot. Sharing music with my kids, my youngest and I used to have a song that we made up and sang in harmony from the time they were like 2. I can't pinpoint one. I remember my parents used to take me to this place in Ohio called Blossom, where we could hear the symphony play, and we'd have crackers and cheese and sit on the lawn and just listen to the music. And so I developed a really strong love for classical music, and I in turn played it for my kids too. And 3 of them I got to take back to Blossom, which was super, super cool because I have pictures of them as babies and me as a baby. So that was a really special spot. I don't know, learning an instrument that I never thought I would be able to learn at all. That's been pretty special. Singing in general, I got to be part of a choir when I was in my early 20s. It was an a cappella choir, and they were more of a Christian group, but they were my favorite bunch of people in a collective sense that I've ever been around. Just joyful and had these commanding voices, each one of them on their own, let alone all together. And so singing with groups, singing with partners, yeah, all of
Nice.
it. I don't know. I can't pinpoint one. Oh, and a favorite concert. I will say the best concert, and I tell everybody this because I'm old and I tell the same stories, and it's okay. But but there's a Pink Floyd concert when the Berlin Wall came down, 1990. The Wall, and it is the best concert. It has so many different artists and musicians working on it. And it has the East and West German army there working together to put this production on. And I have watched it hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times since I was a kid. And I still watch it. And the last song is "The Tide is Turning." And when I was talking about songs that have become spiritual songs for me, that is one of them, and it has to be specifically sung by all the artists that sing it on that that concert. But yeah, that's it.
Love it. I love it.
Allison.
My best musical moment, musical memory, it had to have been before COVID hit. And this was before I ever did music. I was not an artist. I was just a fitness instructor. Ashland puts on a festival called First Friday. It starts in May and it goes up to and includes October. And I had this song called Schulteldon and Speck, which literally translated means shake your bacon. But it has this dance that I found online. Well, that a friend of mine sent to me. It's called the Witches Dance. And it's these German or Belgian or whatever mothers and grandmothers dressed up like witches with brooms doing this dance, this choreography. So I had this bright idea. I'm going to teach every one of my dance fitness classes this dance. So I taught my kids hip hop, my aqua Zumba, my ladies in aqua. I taught my Zumba. I taught my silver cardio. I taught everybody this particular, and I invited them all out for this particular showing of First Friday in October because I was the public demo girl. I had 2 people show up, 2 people. So it was me and one other instructor and one of my kids from my kids hip hop. And I started my demo and we kept going. And by the time we got down to, and I was in full gear too. I was wearing a green wig, black lipstick, skull pants. I had horns on, like a coin skirt, the whole 9. Like I was decked out for Halloween. So we start out, there's 3 of us. By the time we finished, I had packed the main street in Ashland from sidewalk to sidewalk, almost an entire block of people. That was the biggest community showing I'd ever seen in my entire life. And that was a really powerful moment because in that brief period of time, we were all joined by dance and music, and nobody was worried about, watching their kids, making sure their kid didn't get out. I had kids dancing. I had grandparents dancing. I had parents. It was the coolest moment. And that particular day, I've made the front page of the paper the next day. And that was one of my most beautiful, just bringing everybody together. I looked like an idiot. I'm not going to lie. But, man, it was fun. It was fun.
That doesn't matter. Yeah, that's all that matters is you had fun.
It was great.
I want to say, because before we got to the subject, because I don't want to touch too much on it, but I want to say that you're not alone in the domestic violence kind of thing. You're not at all. I also survived begging for life back to back from the same individual a week later in front of my own grandson. He was 4 at the time. Now he's 11. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. I would do it all over again, all of it, just to have the moment of who I am today. Because I healed in places I didn't know I needed to. And I overcame things I didn't know that I was strong enough to. And I found me and fell in love with me all in one. And unapologetically will be me. And I just want to let you know you're not alone in that. And so I can receive where you said that it's great, because it is. It's even though it seemed like at the moment living in the storm, through the storm, in the middle of the storm was the worst ever, coming out of it and becoming who I am today, I'm honored. Like it was a beautiful gift without knowing it's a gift. And then what music done to me, the most special moment, when I was younger, I remember my dad making these little ditties all the time, and they always resonated with me. And that's a good memory that would pass on to my son, because I was a child with a child. I had him, when I was 16, and I had a child, and my dad helped me raise him, become his father. And we passed that on to him. And now I'm a grandma of 2, and my youngest grandson is 2, and I come up and sing these things with him all the time. And he's so into music that, it's just the greatest gift is to be able to see the rhythm of a child and watch the smile on their face and feel their pure discernment of love, of life, and innocence through music. It's a beautiful thing. to sing this with him and to get him to sing. And his favorite song is our Twisted Radio song that we do for our show on Wednesday and Saturday. He'll walk around and say Twisted Radio, and it's the greatest thing ever. It's his favorite thing, and he loves one of Henry's songs, and he just gets up and starts dancing and starts screaming, and you just see so much joy in him, in the beautifulness of the Most High, and someone so innocent through music. So that's my most precious moment.
I love that. And I love that you use that example. And I have to say something very important. I almost had a coma when you said Schuttledine and Speck. Almost had a coma. Did you talk about Peter Fox?
Yes. Startopper. Yeah, that's the album. Yes.
That album is fire from beginning to end. Nobody knows
that album.
I almost fell over and need to be resuscitated when you said
Love it.
Schuttledine and Speck. Yeah, it's freaking
A great song.
Yeah, oh my God. Peter Fox. I almost had a coma. Almost fell over. I've never heard anybody say that.
That's so awesome.
I love German music, and it's just it's not popular. That's amazing.
What's your moment?
It's my heritage, believe it or not.
His too.
No, I'm Polish. We've had issues, but we've lived together.
Yeah, we've come a long way.
What is my most?
I'm a little sketchy. I'm a very sketchy because it's been a long time. Ich kann die deutsche Vokabeln sehr gut erinnern und aussprechen.
Oh my, yeah. I need to brush up on my German. I got most.
I don't know if that's 100% correct. It's been a while ago, but.
Wait, what's that, Gilly?
I said I know a German nursery rhyme.
Please go for it.
Reiter, wenn fällt Schreiter, fällt in den Graben, fressen in den Raben, fällt in den Sumpf, macht einem tiefen Plumps.
Yeah, talking about the ravens will eat. And
it's a terrible one. but
that's great though.
How terrible it is. So
this part's for our German viewers. Morgan East
Bill Coleman.
but Henry, I do want to add that actually another one of my favorite musical moments is I got introduced to some of the best musicians this past summer in Michigan and got to sing with some of them, and one of them was you. And when you played my guitar and I got to hear it sound the way it's supposed to sound, that was cool.
That's so awesome. That is mad love. I love that.
And didn't you back me up at the Elephant once?
Yeah, we did.
You did. I think that was the first time you sang with me. Or I sang with
you. That's wicked. That's so cool.
We did Chris Stapleton, right?
It was Landslide, wasn't it? Landslide and House of the Rising Sun. Chris Stapleton, that was at the Outpost.
Yes. I don't even drink anymore. We jammed a lot, Gilly.
You didn't do it.
Yeah.
Landslide.
Did we do Landslide? No, maybe we did. We sang a bunch of songs together too. Jeez Louise. Well, I need to re-up my
But yeah, so I'm German and Irish, and I had no clue what you guys were talking about. So please don't hold me to it.
I just know random things.
I'm more Swedish than anything, though. That's the sweet part of me. So
I love it. I love it.
So what's your next thing that you want to talk about that from madness to music? When Gilly mentioned that it does help with Alzheimer's and dementia, me being in the medical field for as long as I did over I served 20 years and it was rough, but in the dementia and Alzheimer's unit, music did play a lot in our healing for the residents in helping them with cognitive thinking and whatnot, and remembering. So, what did you want to talk about from
as far as like with the music and the medicine? I remember coming out of my car accident, and I was very juvenile. I had a traumatic brain injury, so I had a lot of healing to do, a lot of therapy, and I remember being so mad because my stereo didn't work. That was probably the maddest I was because I didn't have a stereo. But if I wouldn't have had that outlet, I don't really know what would have happened. And then to take that outlet even a step further, because there's a point where just sitting at home listening to music is not going to cut it anymore. So that's when the YMCA came into play. You know, I was lifting weights to the music. I was on, stationary bike to the music. I was stretching to the music, doing Pilates to the music. And that changed my life. That did change my life. And then becoming an instructor, I've seen it change the lives of other patients who've come in. Like, I used to go to Active Day of Ashland, which was an adult daycare for varying levels of disabilities. And I would do a seated Zumba for the residents. And they said that after I would leave, they would just smile all day. And then sometimes I would see them out in public and they would go, "Hey, Zumba." They didn't even know my name. They called me Zumba. And I knew that I was making their life richer. And then I would have some people would come into my class at the Y, and like I had one in particular, and she had fibromyalgia, and she said of all the medications that they prescribed her, that even though she couldn't do it all, and sometimes she would have to sit in a chair, she said it was the best remedy that she had found was coming to my class, and she enjoyed it so much. So I feel like we medicate so quickly in modern medicine. We are so quick to prescribe and want a pill that is a quick fix, when ultimately the remedy is right there in front of you. Get up, move, play the music loud, dance to your mop if you have to.
Mm-hmm.
It's like all our pills are, they're usually derivatives of something we find in nature or something. Anyway, we boiled it down and caught its essence.
And then
him. Well, even like eating cashews. Eating, what is it, about an ounce of cashews can have almost the same effect as taking Zoloft.
Yeah.
Right.
So
and pistachios are great if you want to go to bed. They're filled with melatonin.
And delicious.
And it's a healthy fat. It's a very healthy fat.
Now, this is satire and we only make suggestions. But yes, it is healthy.
It breaks down easy.
Yeah.
So I remember potty training with trying to do the potty training with my my viejo when he was little, or he's still little, and I would come up with a song because he'd be tired. Let me put a pin in that real quick. This is a part of the ADHD, but I have a rate of remembering where I was. So, and I will make it short. He was really super sick and he had to have a nebulizer machine put on him. And being a baby, he did not want that on his face. I remember singing the ABCs to him to get him to focus so I could put that on him. And just 2 times of singing the ABCs, he ended up falling asleep and I was able to do the whole treatment. And he had to do that for 3 weeks. And I wouldn't have made it through that without being able to sing to him to get his focus off of what we were doing to enjoy it. And to get him to do potty training, I had to stop when he wanted to get up. I'd be like, 1, 2, 3. And then I would start singing to him. And I had to make sure that it was loud and in his face and like just prominent. And he loved it. And he sat there and he would pee. It had to get to the point where he wasn't focused on what he was doing at hand, but being able to relax enough to do what he had to do at hand. And
yeah,
I enjoy those moments.
It helps me every time.
Want me to sing to you, EP?
One of my kids would fall asleep to "We Will Rock You." If we were
my God,
on,
that's
like, a
perfect.
loud road trip, we'd have to start doing, the clapping beat. And as soon as we do that, he'd knock right out. But yeah, that's what he fell asleep to. Who knew?
That's fantastic.
My oldest grandchild, I would have to rub his arm and he would say to me, "Come sing." It's not "You Are My Sunshine." It was "I love my grandson, my only grandson."
Oh,
and I would tune it to about grandson, and he would say, "Do the grandson song, Gina. Do the grandson sunshine song." So I would have to sing that to him every night in order for him to go to sleep. He That was one of our routines. So like
That's priceless.
he now knows to be humble and kind because of Tim McGraw's song Humble and Kind, that he loved that song and took that and made that his song. And now as he gets older, you ask him, you'd be like, grandson, what you gonna be? He's like, I already know I'm humble and kind. But now he's grown, he's a whole 11. So like he's a whole different person now. You're talking to a grown up. Like humble and kind, that was his song, and that was what he was going to be, and that is what he is to this day. He is so humble and kind.
That's awesome.
So
My oldest
memories.
There was a very important part in music for me.
Second, we got froze for a minute, but Henry was in the middle of saying something.
I'm sorry, Gillian. I didn't mean to cut you out.
No, you were talking.
There was an important part in my history with music where I grew up listening to only like ICP. I switched to ICP for some reason, and I was just rolling with it, and I was this big juggalo. And then I'm like, maybe I'm going to look outside of the box, not hating on ICP. And I put in Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, and that was it. That was like, I'm like, oh shit, music's it's so different. So, and I still can laugh at ICP. I still like, they're all right, whatever. But that was a good formative part in me, kind of bridging the gap and learning new music and feeling new emotions from music.
Go ahead, Gilly.
Well, music also, like I always had a song for when they weren't doing well, or just a special song. Like my oldest, his song was "Forever Young," and believe me, he's lived up to it. But it talks about growing up to be courageous and righteous and kind and whatever, but most of all staying forever young. Because we get old and jaded and resentful, and and then another one of my children, when they were going through a really rare sleep disorder, she liked "What's Up," and I would sing her "What's Up." And then my littles is when I started to get creative. I would change the words to things. So like one of them, I changed the word to the dog days are over, Florence and the Machine. And then my youngest, when they were upset, no woman, no cry, except I would sing their name, no cry. And during the verses, I talked about, do you remember how we did this today and that today, and talk about all the fun things that we were up to or all the plans that we had. But that was always their calm song. So it's cool how you form connections through songs too.
Definitely.
It is.
My viejo is a Sagittarius, and a Sagittarius is the person that tried writing me out of the game. And I love the fact that he has that passion and that fire within him. And I know he's going to do something with music. I just know he's going to do something with music. There's just no way around it. And I could see him taking that and turning that into playing an instrument or something and playing it through his music. And that's a positive way of taking the negative, taking that energy when you have it bottled up inside of you and you don't know outlet to be able to express it. Some of the best times when I hear Henry, he will do a song over and over, and if it's not recording right or technology is not his best friend until somebody else is using it, and then all of a sudden he catches on like Einstein. I don't know what happens, but he's gonna switch and he knows what he's doing. But when he wants to do it, it's not working for him ever. And so he gets frustrated and he'll be like, you know what, just fuck it, and throw a coffee cup across the room and slam the door and then just start doing the song. And he kills the song. And the song is the best song ever. And I'm like, where did that aggression come? And he was like, just releasing it through the music. That's my favorite time. You know that. And that was my favorite. When you did that song, you kept repeating it over because you kept on messing up. And you're like, yeah,
No recording goes easy for me. Nothing goes easy when I have to record something. Nothing.
And so he got
And it's not till
frustrated.
you break that seal and get there.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then once he broke that seal, and then all of a sudden, it was the best recording ever. And I was like, Henry, keep that energy from the beginning.
Mhm.
He doesn't have it in him though. That fire is not in him until it's lit.
I have to water myself, if you know what I'm talking about.
That makes sense.
He pictures the clan hood and then he kicks the fuck.
Yeah.
I
I was fortunate enough last year to perform at the Strictly Street Fest.
Oh,
And it was a far drive for me. Kent, Ohio was about 4.5 hours. I didn't have anyone to go with me. And I hit the stage late, like real late. And you know, I'm going to an area I've never been before. So I started calling people, trying to get people to go with me, just to ride with me, just to make sure I got in and out safely. That's it. And so I ended up, found it's like phoning a friend. Okay, you're not available. Phone the next one. Phone the next one. Got somebody to go with me. Ended up going to sleep. Didn't go to the event with me, and I was so mad when I got on that stage. I ripped it wide open. One of the best performances of my life because I channeled that anger into that microphone and I tore it apart. So I just tell them if I want to do something good, I'll just tell them, and I'll straight up. I mean, I'll tell them, piss me off. Let's talk about this.
It is. I think it is. Like Henry's usually my opener in any event. We just covered the Strictly Street Fest. We were just there. And
yeah, I just saw that.
So amazing. It was so amazing. And he's usually my opener because he don't care when the air is dead. He'll just grab his guitar and go. Like you don't have someone's song lined up or whatever. He don't care. He's acoustic, so he'll just go up there and sing naturally, and it gets people in the mood to want to follow him. A lot of people are intimidated to follow you. That's what Max said. And you think he'd be intimidating to follow, but he said that about you. And
dude, I think it's an honor to be in like a hard lineup. You know what I mean? If I'm going with somebody, like even if they're following me, if I'm going right beside somebody that I know is going to rip it apart, I'm honored.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm just like, yeah, y'all believe in me because if I want to open up for, I mean.
Well, if I go to a concert, I'm there to perform at the concert for sure, but I'm there to watch everybody on the concert, and it's where I have to run and go do things that pisses me off, or people start talking to me. I'm like, I really, really want to watch the show.
Yeah.
But I love doing it. You
that.
gotta talk, but that I find the most frustrating.
It's funny. Anger is something that I feel silly expressing in like a really loud sort of way. I do. I always have. But but so I like a good like sarcastic angry song. Like if it's got a flair of like it's got a bite to it, but it's more mellow. And I don't know. I remember like the first time I heard like really hard metal or screaming music, and it just had this effect on my body, not a good one. And I've been learning over the last couple of years how to appreciate it. So I can listen to it now and I can appreciate it. But I don't think I could keep a straight face no matter how angry I was if I tried to commit to that. So
I love it.
I can't do the screamo music. It does something to my anxiety. It does something to the peace within me, the demons that I back. So I can feel what you're saying when you said it does something to you, because it does to me to this day. And I have to step away. I can listen to it, but I have to listen to it from afar. I can't listen to it close because it does something to me also, not in a positive way.
I wake up and listen to death metal.
I can't do it.
through headphones.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
That shit gets me going. I can yank an engine block out or whatever I want to do. It just gets me going.
That's what I'm saying. It does something to my anxiety. I feel them too much, and it's not good.
It's calming to me because I grew up in a house full of screamers. Like I can handle like car wrecks and bar fights and shit. That's my two go-tos to say. But if I can't get something to work, I lose my mind. I can't keep it together. Like I'm so good in some kind of high stress situation, and I'm just terrible with life. So the screaming music really helps put things into perspective for me.
See, I'm telling you, I don't like the loud, the screaming. I can't do it. It does something different to me. Because I'm just like Gilly when it comes to being mad. I'm a quiet mad. And when I do get mad, I will try to match your energy. But once I feel that it's getting me anxious, and I have to stop myself. I have to walk away because I don't have a panic attack.
That makes sense.
I get big mad.
I can't do it. I try.
I'll be quiet too.
I
I'll
yell
just
a
grab
lot. I do.
You
I
yell
yell
a
a lot in class, but it's in my fitness class. But I'm yelling. I'm telling them how pretty they are, how awesome they are, and how much I love them.
You're right.
Oh, there you go. I mean, that's channeling it, right?
So that's my yelling.
I don't always blow up, so I've been known to just get really pissed off, get real quiet, leave, and go dump a magazine or something out in the back stop. Like that usually does it for me. Something destructive, but not destructive enough to hurt myself or others. But
I'll
break some shit. I'll rage room out, and you know what? It's fine. I feel
That's
better
the
after.
Taurus in you, and not to call you out on your zodiac, but that is the Taurus in you. Because you guys love extremely hard and a lot. And when it gets that ticking bomb point,
hard.
Yeah, you guys start crashing out.
Walking. I do a lot of walking, and if I get mad, I work out, I stretch, I walk.
Yeah, when you see my son doing push-ups and sit-ups and stuff, that's usually because he's extra mad, and that's his way of release too. It's
he's just burning it off.
Yeah, because he'll punch something and he'll hyperextend his knuckle all the way back, and he just has done that. So, and he wrestling and whatnot. So now it's just when he's quiet and he starts he wants to be left alone. Leave him alone.
Mm-hmm.
Leave him alone. There's a reason. So what do you feel that what do you feel you could give by you being who you are? What do you feel you can give somebody through music that they can't get on their own?
Hopefully they feel like there's somebody out there that cares. That's what I want. If there's anything, because I don't have any children. I have 2 dogs. I have 2 German Shepherds. I will outlive my dogs. And even if I don't, they can't talk. I've tried real hard, but apparently they're special German Shepherds and they can't speak. But the legacy I leave behind is hopefully that anybody that came into contact with me, whether it's physically or whether it's through my music, hopefully I made you smile. That's the greatest gift that anyone could ever give to me, is that smile from the heart. You know what I mean? And if I can project that through the world, then I've done what I'm supposed to do.
Where can people find your music at?
Well, I've got, of course, I'm on all platforms. I've even got a website. It's Sicily GMGFC, SISALI GMGFC.com. I'm on Facebook, most actively under Allison Webb, ALISONWEBB, and Instagram. It's who was it? GMGF. Is it GMGF Allison? I believe is what it is. But my website has links to everything. But there's a lot of shows coming up. A lot. I just performed Saturday. I've got some in Louisville coming up. Some more in Atlanta.
I want to say something real quick. Do you see where it says comment? If you could write it where it says comment, so we don't.
That way
so people can see it. So we don't.
Of course, yes.
I want people to be able to find you, and then. You have show. You just did a show.
Yeah, you said your show is coming up. Performances.
Yeah, I was just in Mansfield. I was just in Mansfield this past weekend with Gift Boy, Swisher Jones, and Squad family, the Glock Squad family. It was a small event,
Was that the one where Anything Possible was at, or no?
No, that was a different one.
Okay.
That was a different one.
Oh dear. Oh, you had to put in comments. Hi, Gilly.
I don't know where she went. She got
I'm
moved.
here.
Oh, I just said hi, Gilly. Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh, there she is. Danny. Hey, we bring Danny back.
No, I can't.
There's Danny.
Oh, that was Danny.
Yeah, that's Danny.
Oh, not Allison. Hi, husband.
Hey guys,
Hey
how
y'all.
you guys doing? It's a great show tonight.
From madness to music, what's madness to music to you?
Say that again. With
Madness to music.
I
madness to
apologize.
music.
It kicked me out for some reason.
All right, well,
Yeah.
this is the time that my husband gets to talk real quick because he only got 10 minutes, so we're gonna let him talk. So if you can type it in the comments while he's talking, and then we'll let you finish.
Sorry, I can't hear her.
Oh shit. Sorry, y'all.
Go ahead from madness to music. I'm removing her. She probably got a phone call. She'll come back.
Oh, well, yeah. From madness to music. Yeah. I mean, music has done so much for me in my life, and has helped me get through the toughest times. And it's a beautiful thing to be able to do music and to write music because I can always channel my energy and my life story into music. So um, I've taken a lot of chaotic moments that I've went through in my life, and I've been able to channel that to the music and it be able to help people that's been through similar things. So I just music is has saved me many times. And
So
it was.
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
Okay,
I
I
was
can
telling
hear you now. I apologize.
Okay, so let my husband real quick finish telling his story, and then you can write it in the comments real quick, and then we'll let you go back to telling about
That's
what
just
you did.
Hey, Danny.
All right, so you said what?
Just music has just been a lot to me, and it was funny. I heard Henry talking about screamo music, and it's crazy because there's actually songs. Believe it or not, yeah, I will rock out to some screamo music, and it's funny because I've put it on in rotation, and Kimberly has looked at me and she's like, "I don't know if that look is. I've never respected this, or not today."
It's not today.
Anytime with me, dude, you can rock out, man.
On the way to the event, you had that song. You were like, "This is my favorite song." I was like, "Do we have to?" And you're like, "It's my favorite song." Like, I can't right now. Not in a closed-in car. Not in a closed-in area. I can't. It does something traumatic to me, for real, for real. It brings out some form of anxiety. We were at the event and had to walk away when he started doing it. Remember?
Oh yeah, sometimes a little bit too much is just too much. You got to step away for a second.
It keeps
But
doing it.
yeah,
I
I
don't
really
know.
love the show tonight because, like I said, music. They always say that there is a song for any type of mood that you're going through, and I truly believe that because I went through every single phase or emotion in life that you can go through, possibly go through, and I've found a song to help me embrace that moment, no matter what the feeling or emotion has been.
So, what's that song that you just dropped? That you're about to drop? That you got coming out? That you're doing snippets of?
Oh yeah, intervention. Intervention. I can't wait to drop that song. Shout out to James Brooks who shot that video. But I can't wait to drop that song. I really have high hopes for it to go far. And if you guys have gotten the chance or haven't gotten the chance to watch the snippet, you can do so. The first snippet I had Mr. Misfit. After you see the snippet talking about his trials and tribulations and how he overcame his drug addiction. And then we have our own family, Henry, who did part two of today's snippet to tell about his trials and tribulations and with alcohol. So it's a really strong song. And I hope that it resonates and help people who have battled, drug addiction. And when you have songs like that, it's really meaningful. It's really meaningful, and songs like that can really change people's lives. So I can't wait to let people hear that. And I just want to touch. So Cicely, her song, "Salt in the Wound," that's one of those songs that really touch. Touch the soul because it's deep, and you listen to it, and to know that it's about domestic violence, and have something like that, and to see how a community have embraced that song is such a beautiful thing.
So, husband, what's your positive message?
My positive message is to embrace life, live it to the fullest. Um, and listen to some good music while you're doing it. uh, love and live life. Listen to good music. And check out all of you guys on this panel that do music, because I happen to know that all of you don't. I haven't heard Gilly yet, but I'm pretty sure she's a pretty good artist too.
Well, thank you for coming on, husband. We love you.
I love you guys too. Great show tonight, guys. Keep up the good work, team.
They stay. Appreciate you.
Have a good night.
All right, love.
So, what were you saying? I apologize. I don't know why I kept kicking you out.
I don't know. I was trying to put in a comment, and for some reason it just kept kicking me out every time. It kept kicking me out. It's technology. Technology and I don't agree most of the time.
Well, them guys too. So
I'm telling you, it locks up when I come in the room. It's horrible.
It's like we have EMPs or something built into us or something. I swear.
Yeah.
I can't.
what's your event that you got coming up?
Well, we've got there's a show that I'm talking with Kate O'Kane about right now. July 25th. There's one in Louisville. And there's another one in September at the same venue. I don't know all the details on it. There's so many things that happen. You try to plan for them ahead of time and they don't happen. And then you might be at work on a Wednesday and all of a sudden something falls through and you're performing that Saturday. And so it's so hard sometimes to nail things down. And I've been on the outdoor festival circuit in Atlanta. But this year, because I would have already started by this time, but my best friend, my manager, my brother, Hoffa, he brought his little girl into the world about 3 weeks ago. So we're kind of at a standstill. And I'm so blessed and honored because they have asked me to be her godmother. So I'm like, thank you so much. She's the most gorgeous little, oh my God, I just want to squeeze her. I can't wait to meet her. I'm going to ruin this kid. I guarantee you that. I can't wait. So, but that's kind of slowed down things a little bit in Atlanta. So I'm kind of, even though I've got, Hoffa doing my things in Atlanta and the thereabouts area, Danny has offered me tremendous opportunities. I've got other DJs and other promoters that I work with as well, just trying to get out there as much as possible. Because all it takes, I mean, we all know this as musicians, all it takes is one person. Get in front of that one. And if the Lord sees fit, then something will take off. And if he doesn't, then it won't. And I've absolutely had the time of my life and met the most amazing, incredible, beautiful, passionate people. And I am so blessed and honored. For real, I'm honored to meet this. And don't get me wrong, I've met leeches and succubus and incubus, and I've met all kinds. But the real ones stand out. And I'm so grateful for their mentorship and their support and encouragement. And in spite of what I'm doing, it's an acquired taste. It'd be like, oh, she's a rapper. It'd be like, yeah, but she doesn't cuss though. Like, whoa, okay, really? I was like, really? But I feel like through the love I have for what I do and the passion that I have for people at large, that's my greatest curse. Is I fall in love with everyone and every place I go. But I'm hoping that it can make an impact somewhere. I mean, what does it take to start a tsunami? Just a tiny ripple. And I'm a tiny little pebble in a big old ocean. But if I drop enough pebbles, I'll have that tsunami one day.
Mm. So what's the breakdown of your artist name?
It's the name Cicely actually comes from two words, sister and Allison put together.
Oh.
Because my
Okay.
crew, Get Money, Get Fresh crew, my boss Hoffa, he's my best friend. We've been friends for over 21 years. We walked the stage at graduation, and we are the most unlikely pair you'd ever meet in your entire life. He was raised north of Columbus. He is a black man. I was raised in a holler in Kentucky. You know what I mean? So, like, our upbringings were different. Our religions are different. Our coloring is different. But we met there at Shawnee State University in class, and for whatever reason, we just hit it off and became the absolute best friends. And that guy has stood by my side. He was my friend when I got married. He was my friend and literally held me down when I was going through my divorce. That was one of the hardest times of my life. And sometimes I would call him at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, crying my eyes out. And that man, he held me together, when I was falling apart. And then it was his big stupid idea in 2020, because COVID hit. I went through my divorce. I'd lost my dog of 15 years. I had to put him down. And I'd lost both jobs. The YMCA shut down, the government shut us down, and my dental office shut down. And then later he sold the practice. So all of my identity was gone. In about 5 to 6 weeks, it was gone. And I was devastated. And so Hava calls me one day and he says, I got this crazy idea. Hear me out. And I was like, oh God, what? And he said, do a song with me. And I was like, that's the worst idea you've ever had in your entire life. That's a terrible idea. No. And he was like, come on, I know you did English. And because I was an English major prior to dental hygiene. That's my saving grace right there, is my love for words. But he said, just write me a chorus and a verse and I'll do the rest of the song around you. And I was like, fine. Like I'm all cynical. I'm like, fine, whatever. And so I go into the booth with about 5 or 6 pages, just notebook pages ripped out. And he said, do you have a beat? And I was like, what? Like, where do you get that? Like, they don't have that section at Walmart when I was shopping. Kroger's does not sell them. Like, where do I need to go to the mall? And he was like, you ain't got a beat? And I'm like, I don't know where to get it. I mean, I had no kind of advice, no coaching, no nothing. He literally just set me adrift in a sea. And I was on a raft. It was horrible. And so we picked out a beat. And I guess about 8 minutes later, I was in the booth trying to lay it down with zero knowledge of what I was doing. And for whatever reason, the gods smiled upon me, the musical gods. And the very next month, I was in South Beach, Miami, shooting my first video.
That's what's up.
It's amazing. And to have somebody, and this was cool too, because music is so, like, it's so combining of people. You know what I mean? Because I was a fan of his. They were already doing music. With Get Money, Get Fresh crew, they'd open for the Baby. They brought Chanel West Coast down to Portsmouth. Like, I checked her teeth before the pictures because she was afraid she had food in her teeth. And he was like, oh, my girl's a dental hygienist. We got you covered. She smelled like cotton candy. I will say that. Dumber than a bag of hammers, love her heart. She was but it's okay. It's okay. And yeah, bless her heart. I mean, it was just, the stuff she was talking about the night was wild. But it was so cool being a part of that. And then the fact that he actually kind of turned his grace. He turned his grace on me and said, hey, write a song. Like, he was willing to bring me on board. And I thought that was so cool. And for a long time, people accused him of just picking me up because I was like the token white girl. Because I'm with a crew of all black men. And the horrible things they said about me, you can only imagine the horrible things they said about me. But my crew's always treated me with a lot of respect. And they've helped coach me to kind of tighten up my cadence and tighten this up. But they never coached me to the point where they wanted me to sound like them, which was very important, I thought, along the way. And now just one thing led to another, led to another, led to another. And here I am. all by accident. Honestly, everything good that's ever happened to me has been by accident.
To rap into a rap career. That's not something you really hear all that often.
Isn't that wild? My favorite band, this is no lie, my favorite band is 9 Inch Nails. I've got it tattooed on my arm. I love 9 Inch Nails.
Love Trent. Yes.
Oh my gosh, he and I've been dating since 1996. He just doesn't realize it.
He just doesn't know yet.
I was
Yeah,
listening.
I mean, he got married. I got married too. I'm not mad. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay,
It's okay.
I knew that wasn't
But,
an
you know.
Ohio accent, by the way. I was curious.
Yeah, that I mean, but me being a Zumba instructor, I do a lot of Latin music. It's 70% international, 30% whatever you want. I've taught Fierce Funk Dance Fitness. I've been a hip hop instructor. I've taught Silver Cardio, where I've done straight Motown tracks. I mean, I'm all over the map.
Yeah. That
I like
helps
some
a lot.
contemporary Christian. I like some bluegrass. I just love music.
Yeah. Well, I do too. I
Yeah.
really do.
I'm trying
So
to
what's
learn
your-
to play guitar, but I am terrible. Terrible.
Oh goodness, Gilly.
Oh,
Gilly's
so
good.
bad.
And Gilly's good, and she thinks she's terrible.
Yeah, oh, I'm terrible, and I know I'm terrible. And you would agree that I'm terrible. But I got a blue guitar. It's real pretty. I can carry it around and look nice. I just can't play it.
Well, learn 2 chords or 3. And that's it.
Yeah, and be like Green Day.
I am not. Be like most of them. Okay, I'll just lump everybody in. There's a lot of 3-chord music out there, but that does not mean it's bad. And something I had to learn
No,
when I was young.
absolutely not.
My dad hated newer music because I grew up with classical and Baroque music in the house. That's what I grew up with: classical opera, Baroque opera. And I had to learn that rap and country and rock and all this stuff, it does not need to be complicated to be good. It just has to be good and heartfelt. I mean, really.
Yeah. And I want to take it back to the roots, back in the day when it was so clever. I want to be clever. Like even in the track, Why Not? It's snarky. I wanted to be real snarky. So here I am representing the YMCA. Who's one of our biggest rivals? Planet Fitness.
Oh, yeah.
So I put in that track, we don't need a planet. We wrote the book on fitness. Oh,
Yeah.
burn. That's ferocious. But it's snarky.
That's legit burn on Planet Fitness.
Yeah, it is.
A little bit. But I mean, we are the OGs. What can I say?
Well, with your English major, you know how to cuss at people without cussing at people, I'm assuming. And that's a
Pretty
wonderful
much.
skill. Yes, it's a wonderful skill to have.
Pretty much.
That's
And
why
if the Lord blesses me to have children one day, if he does, and if I have grandchildren, far be it for me, for my granddaughter or my grandson to come up to me and say, hey, Grandma, do you remember when you said da-da-da-da-da in a song? What did that mean? I don't want to have to stand there with my jaw hitting the ground and say, I want to be able to have lyrics that people can listen to.
We were listening to our intro, and it's going to be in our outro. Our intro is smaller than our outro. Our outro is a whole song. And we were listening to that, and we come to the realization that our old host is one of the most intelligent rappers.
Oh, my. Yes.
And we didn't realize what every word he was saying meant, let alone what he was saying at the time. And we slowed it down and started listening to it and realized that every one of his things that he was saying was very intelligent.
Like, that's really deep, bro.
It's deep. But you have to slow down to listen to it. And I like that kind of intelligence that you have to pay attention, because I can't do that 3 seconds mumble rap that makes no sense because I'm talking about peanut butter in a trash can because it sounds good.
Yeah, I understand that. And I hope one day people look at my lyrics and say, wow, she was throwing symbolism from Sojourner Truth. Ain't I a woman? I've got references to that in my raps.
Yeah.
So I'm just hoping that, I don't know, I hope that the thoughtfulness comes through. And I hope that people understand that I do what I do. I mean, yeah, is it fun? Absolutely. It's an adventure, 100%. but I hope they understand that the product that they receive is something that I'm trying to polish for them. I'm trying to polish for them and their children, the grandparents, where you don't have to worry, if the kids are listening to me, you can walk in the room. They don't have to stop me. There's nothing I would say that I can't say in front of my classes at the YMCA.
So we're gonna wrap this up. Give us a positive note to leave it on.
Well, I'll go along with the music theme, and there's a folk saying that if you can't sing good, sing loud. And I think that goes for all.
I love it.
I love it too, actually. I do. All right, Ellison, a positive note.
I'm gonna have to go with Gilly on this one. My ex-husband was Catholic. I was raised Pentecostal. I know it's odd, but I remember going to his church one time, and Father Paul, who's the cutest little priest you ever meet, he said, "Everyone says that you should make a joyful Lord or make a joyful noise unto the Lord. But the way I see it is, if the Lord gave you a bad voice, doesn't He deserve to hear it?"
I like that too.
Oh, dang.
You gotta follow that.
We all deserve to be heard. The Lord wants to hear us all.
I love that.
Oh, yeah, no, that's wonderful. I don't want to follow any of that up. I'm just happy with that. Okay. I just don't know where I'm not going to come up with anything clever like that. I don't know where I'd be without music. If I'm not playing music, it's because I have shuffle on my mortal coil 100%. It's just like mega important to me. And I'm just happy to do this podcast tonight. I love talking about music, and I love hearing people talk about music. So my positive word is just I'm in a good mood now. I even have a headache. I just shoot up a bunch of ibuprofen like they were like spree candies, and I'm still feeling good. So
it does a body good.
Yeah, music is healthy. I think we nailed it tonight.
I appreciate you guys so much.
We appreciate you.
So my positive message on it is turn the pain into rain and let the seeds grow. Because you have to let it out. You have to acknowledge it, release it, and let it go and let it grow. And someone will appreciate it. I promise you. It may not be who you think it should be, and it may not be what you think it should be. But one day someone's going to be humming your music, and you're going to be like, that was me. So keep growing.
That's perfect.
Wait a second. I don't want to overtake you, but I figured out what I wanted to say.
Go ahead. You don't overtake me.
Okay. I wanted to actually double on what you said earlier. I believe we were talking about earlier is that once you put your music out and it's out there, I knew if I didn't go anywhere, didn't do anything, or I just recorded it, it'd be bouncing off the planets and stars for all eternity, because you can't take that little digital message away. It's out there forever. Mm-hmm. And I'm really comfortable with that. I love that. Everybody listening to that.
There was a song. There was a song that he just did a long time ago, and it was, he found it, stumbled across it, and he'd been wanting to redo it and revamp it anyhow, because he's been, for some reason, it was speaking to him before he stumbled across it. He stumbled across it in Bandcamp, and it sounded like he recorded it in a closet off his Android. It was rough. And he took that and let our secret weapon touch it. Tim Kranz, our beautiful family member, touch it and talk about talent. You need to meet Tim Kranz for real. He could do opera all the way down to rap to rock. I mean, he's a beautiful, talented soul. And touched it, and it sounds so amazing and so beautiful and so clean, and it sounds like something that people are going to love. And I've never heard my SUN cleaned and mastered. I've never heard them polished, and to hear that polished version, because all I hear is raw and authentic. To hear the polished version of him is going to be something beautiful. It's going to be something beautiful. And
I can't wait to hear that.
I can't wait for the world to hear it neither. And I don't hold water, and our show is tomorrow, and I may leak it. I can't hold water.
Oh no. Tim is what he does. Tim's really good.
Tim is what he does.
He can take a lot of static and make it not static. That's a static joke. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. I love the fact that you are still standing vibrant, and now your voice is going to be heard. And I like it's going to bounce off the ethers for eternity. It matters to me
so much.
So thank you for coming.
We got to do this together, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah. And thank you for coming on. It was a joy, and you're a joy. You're a beautiful gift to this.
It was my pleasure.
So let's enjoy this, everybody. Thank you for allowing us into your home, your heart, your ears. We are the ears that listen. Come join us next time. We are the People's Podcast, where your opinion matters. We're gonna end this. Listen to our intro, and enjoy our song, our outro, and our song. Here it is. Peace and love, everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get to the bottom of this one. Unspoken truths that I miss one. Tap into the minds of the people. Rather acknowledge before I dismiss one. Atheists, Muslim, Christians, Buddhists, they all got usage. All got perspective. It's a collective. Get to the bottom where the truth is. With our hearts uncovered. Boy, detox from all of the lies you smothered. When them tries could have killed you. But with faith you recover. Yup. Peel off the makeup. We finna take off. Never said it'd be a cakewalk. Meditate till we charged up. That's Hugo's regardless. Decalcify my pineal. Breaking language barriers, we saw millennials. Planets passing age rotations, down me we owe. So down me we know. Sometimes we can be slow, that's why my ears open. Every drop you add could complete the ocean. Speak up, play your part too. Been vulnerable, it's so hard to reflect on all the Jews like torture. It's on you, tell the truth.
Yeah, we about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. Listen. Yeah, aim in the fit so you see in the mirror. Play with your focus and watch it get clear. Polish your crown, turn it up if you wear. You live in the root, release what you fearing, and watch it all rise. The righteous will hear it. They calling us twisted, I'm not even caring. Because it's unseen, the mind is too barren. They won't even heal it, they pass it to cheering. We over here healing, conversing and listening. Know that the truth isn't always appealing, but end it with healing and find your beginning. Frequency positive, what you receiving. Perception is up to you, what you believing. What you retrieving, mentally speaking. Life that they breathing, no words from a heathen. Don't know it all, but together undefeated. Conversation, rather want it, you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah, Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the trial with the students and teachers. All got a voice, we the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. Conversation, rather want it, you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah, Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the trial with the students and teachers. All got a voice, we the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. Hey. Yeah. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. Praying for truth cause the world is so fickle. Keeping my mental how clean as a whistle. Attention's a trap, they can lead you astray. Sneering this shit through the storm and the haze. Real conversations are lost in the greed. Others get lost in the web that it weaves. Sift through the rhetoric, uncover schemes. Knowledge inherited, this is imperative. I got a lot on my mind and I'm sharing it. Apples to oranges, it ain't no comparisons. I'm the type that'll never break character. I'm the type to make memories and cherish them. Trust intuition and doubt of disparity. Pursuing the echoes of wisdom. Chasing that moment of clarity. Conversation, rather one and you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah, Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the track with the students and teachers. All got a voice, who the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen. Conversation, rather one and you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah, Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the track with the students and teachers. All got a voice, who the ears that'll listen. Who the ears that'll listen. We the ears that'll listen.
It's on you, tell the truth.